Hello and welcome. This is your instructor, Dennis Westman again, and today we'd like to talk a little bit about Access Unit B, which will be the final unit for this course this summer. So I want to talk a little bit about Unit B. As we've done in the past, if you'll go ahead and follow along in your textbook, this one will be real quick because it's just a couple of key points that are important in this section. So again, follow along in your textbook, and this will be Access Unit B, which is building and using queries. Now, essentially, a query is a question that you ask a database. Now, as you recall from our video in Access Unit 1, we talked about what a database was, which is a collection of related items, related tables, related fields that describe or detail particular items or groups of items. Well, a query is when you want to ask questions of that database. You want to say, okay, how many people are older than 74 in the database? Or how many people live in Ardmore that are in the database? Or so on. So those are the kinds of questions that you would ask. And again, a query is a question. Excuse me. So if you look on page Access 28, you can see that it goes into detail about how to create a query. Now there's a couple of ways that you can do it, but I think the easiest is to use the query wizard, which essentially allows you to look at the different fields and to go through and select what items you would like to be included in the query, and then just perform the query and get your results. And again, the definition of a query is at the top of page 28, and it is essentially, again, allowing you to ask a question of that particular database. Now, another way to create a query is on page 30 in the Access unit, and this is Design View. So you have the wizard, now you have the Design View, where you can get into much more detail and do more advanced types of queries. And again, that is in the Design View. So you have the wizard, and then you have the Design View. Of course, on Access 32, you can modify the queries. If you need to make some changes, you can go in and rephrase the questions. Maybe you need to update them by semester or by year or something like that. Now, once you query the database, you want to be able to sort and possibly even find subsets or individual elements of that database. And so that is talked about on Access page 34. And this is all about sorting and finding the data. Sorting allows you to sort, alphabetically from first name to last name, from A to Z, and those sorts of things. And finding the data is once you do a query, or even when you don't have a query, you're just looking at the data sheet. Find allows you to quickly find one specific record or one specific element of a record. Filtering data is discussed on Access page 36, and this is where you look at the data, but you filter it, or you select only certain elements of the data so that everything else is filtered out. So let's say you only want people that live in Oklahoma, say for instance. Then you would filter state in your particular table of that database to only show those folks that live in Oklahoma. Everything else is hidden from your view. Now, you're not deleting anything. You're not erasing anything. Filtering simply filters and gets rid of all the extraneous items that you don't necessarily want to view or need. Applying AND criteria. AND criteria allows you to create advanced criteria. Like, let's say you want all the males that live in Oklahoma. The first criterion would be gender, and you would pick only the males. And then the second criteria would be state, and you would only pick Oklahoma. So using AND criteria, you can select multiple items to be included in your query. OR is similar to AND, except it picks one or the other. So let's say you want everyone that is male or everyone that lives in Oklahoma. So it's going to look at state is okay, or gender is male. It doesn't look for both. The AND looks for gender is male and the state is Oklahoma, or looks at gender is male, or the state is Oklahoma. And then on page 42 on the Access Unit 2, it talks about formatting the data sheet. You can actually go in and apply formats, font type, sizes, colors, just to make it look easier for you to view. Okay, well that's it. That is Access Unit B. As usual, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or post to the discussion forums in the lab section. And as always, I'm here to answer any questions. Thank you and have a great day.